going to try the Japan game quiz. I've done the USA game quiz a couple of times before. Different cultural questions or questions relating to America. But today I thought I'd try the Japan game quiz. It's the same format. As you can see, there's the lid to the box that the game comes in, Japan, and then up at the top left is written Japan in the Japanese kanji characters, Nihon. But anyway, yeah, it's Japan. The game, same type of game as the USA peace game quiz. Why this isn't the peace game, I'm not sure. It's just the game. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is it uses the same, as I said, the same format. I have cards with questions written on them and so on. And we'll be conducting this game quiz live here on HAPS and broadcast simultaneously to my Facebook feed and to YouTube, and Twitter, I guess, is getting a connection to this feed. But if you really want to participate to the fullest extent, the best thing you can do is to join HAPS. HAPS.tv is a great platform if you want to become a broadcaster, or if you are a broadcaster and are looking to expand and find maybe a nicer, easier, really quite fine platform in order to do your broadcasting, I would highly recommend HAPS. HAPS has an app for your smartphone or your tablet. It'll run on tablets also. But it also works in a browser window, which is what I'm doing right now. I have my laptop computer, and I'm actually running Brave browser. Now, normally HAPS tells you to use Chrome, that Chrome is the only browser supported for broadcasting. But Brave has a little more security, or they have they claim to not be selling your information and things like that. So I have been using Brave now for several months, maybe a year or more. It works almost the same. I mean, it's based on Chrome. They took the code from Chrome and changed it a little bit, but it's basically the same kind of browser, the same browser that Chrome is, which is what, as I started to say there, this HAPS broadcasting studio, the HAPS broadcast studio is recommended to run on Chrome, but Brave seems to work just as well. So either one. And I think there are other Chrome alternatives or other browser alternatives, obviously, but there are more that are, again, based on Chrome. Brave is the one that I've chosen. I'm not affiliated with Brave at all. But anyway, so there are other choices if you really don't like Chrome for whatever your reasons might be. Check out Brave. You seem to be able, I've been able to use it to broadcast in the same way as Chrome. Excuse me, I seem to be having a little bit of a voice problem. Alaska. Nice big cup. I love this cup. Holds a good morning's volume of coffee for me to get my day started the right way. I don't know how many of you out there start your day also with coffee. I used to drink coffee all day long. Now I basically limit myself to a couple of cups in the morning. Sorry, I'm just kind of wasting time here. Not wasting time. I'm just kind of filling in the time here until it gets to be 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock Japan time, which is just about a minute from now. That's the time that I scheduled this broadcast to begin. And so I'll try to keep to the schedule. As I said, so today, Japan, the game quiz, just a short one for the first attempt here. I've prepared just 5 questions. I have more cards so I can quickly add additional questions if, for example, we would need a tiebreaker or something like that. Assuming that somebody joins in and tries to answer these questions. I may try to read some Japanese, but I'm not really confident in a lot of my Japanese character reading. My conversational Japanese is pretty good, but my reading and writing lags far behind. I wouldn't say that I'm illiterate in Japanese, but my daily conversation skills far exceed my ability to read or write. I can write my address and things like that on paper and pencil. I can write a lot more using the computer keyboard because I can input the Japanese by using the sounds, and then I do recognize many Japanese characters, even though if I had a pencil and a white sheet of paper in front of me, I probably wouldn't be able to accurately write that Japanese character. But by using the keyboard on my computer, I'm able to write something that is reasonable Japanese, if it's not too difficult. Again, the more conversational it is, the better. So let's see, what are we doing here? I don't know if there's anybody here. If you're here, please give me a wave or something like that to indicate that you're here. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to start this quiz if there's nobody here. Let me just share this for a minute, how you might contact me if you wanted to. So I do another broadcast. I try to do it on a regular basis, about once a week, called excuse me. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my voice today. Anyway, Layman's Philosophy is usually a friend of mine, another American here teaching English at another university, and I sit down and talk about philosophical themed questions, but neither of us are philosophers, or at least not formally educated philosophers. Thus, Layman's Philosophy is the title of it. And we sit down and talk about different questions, what's the meaning of life type of things, and ethical questions and things like that. But anyway, there's my information a little bit if you're at all interested. I am an expatriate, meaning I'm an American who lives outside of America. I'm an educator. As I just said, I teach English at a university, actually a couple of universities here. One, I'm a tenured professor at one university, and I teach part-time, a couple of classes a week at another university. That's very, very common here in Japan. Actually, I've never been, well, I guess when I was in graduate school in America, I was a student teacher, but aside from that, I've never taught at an American university. And my teaching has been almost exclusively here in Japan, and again, almost exclusively at university. I never taught in high schools and so on. I've done the occasional part-time job helping out people, helping out other teachers at high schools and so on. And I've also done the odd language school gig from time to time, but teaching at university has been my main occupation here the entire time that I've lived in Japan, which is now more than 30 years. Japan, let's see, I came in 1988. So what's that? This is my 33rd year, something like that. Yeah. Kumamoto, the city where I live now, at least Kumamoto Prefecture, the area where Kumamoto City is, Kumamoto Prefecture. I've lived here since 1990, so this is my 31st year. Anyway, you can follow me YouTube if you search for Daniel Miner. There are a couple Daniel Miners there, but I think if you take a look at those, you'll figure out which one is mine very quickly. There aren't that many to search through. Haps TV here, of course, at Daniel Miner, and then my Twitter account is at DartsPlayer. I should turn those sounds off. Probably be better. Yeah. So Twitter at DartsPlayer, and Facebook. Facebook, not my favorite platform, but I spend a lot of time in the Philippines on vacations and so on. My wife is Filipina, and so Facebook is like the major social media network in the Philippines for various reasons. Anyway, so because of my Philippine connections more than anything else, I maintain my Facebook account also. So you can find me there. Again, DartsPlayer, because I used to play a lot of darts. Because of COVID, that has changed. None of us can do many of the activities that we used to enjoy so much. Hopefully that won't be going on for too much longer. But I used to play a lot of darts. I wasn't good by any objective standards, but I was able to play at a level that I enjoyed. Played with friends. I entered some local darts bar type tournaments and so on, and did reasonably well for an amateur. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I hope that someday I'll be able to go back to the darts bars and enjoy playing a few more games of darts with my friends. But until this COVID thing is under control a little better, we need to all be careful. Okay, well, it seems that no one is jumping on the Japan game train here. Well, that's okay. Let's there. Am I there? Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and start. I'll ask the questions, and people that are watching on a platform other than HAPS, so that you can't actually interact with me easily, I understand. No worries about that. I'll give you all the questions and the answers, and perhaps somebody will join in a few minutes. Okay, anyway, these are, as I said, all questions about Japan, Japanese culture, Japanese daily life, and so on. So the first question is, what is the fastest Shinkansen in Japan today? Shinkansen meaning bullet train, right? Bullet train. Okay, so what is the fastest Shinkansen or bullet train in Japan today? There are several different bullet trains. They have different names. The Shinkansen has different names. And some of them are, of course, each generation, the same as computers, each generation of bullet train gets a little faster usually, and or more luxurious, or anyway, different changes and so on. And different generations of Shinkansen travel on different routes and so on. There may be a couple of generations of Shinkansen traveling on the same route, but generally different routes offer different versions of the Shinkansen, and one of those versions is the fastest bullet train in Japan today. Okay, I'll give you the three choices. I have three choices for you to choose from to help you out here. Those of you that aren't familiar with Japan are not going to be able to come up with this answer without them, probably. But the Japanese names are Hayabusa, Hikari, and Nozomi. Okay, again, Hayabusa, Hikari, Nozomi. Okay, those are the three names in Japanese. The Hayabusa means falcon or peregrine falcon. If you're familiar with peregrine falcons, they're possibly the fastest hunting falcon bird, hawk type bird flying, the peregrine falcon. Hikari means light, and Nozomi means wish. So those are the names of the three of the different versions of Shinkansen that currently run in Japan: Hayabusa, or peregrine falcon; Hikari, or light; and Nozomi, wish. Okay. So, is anybody out there? Okay. Well, that's all right. Okay, so one more time, just hoping that somebody will show up here. Maybe people are not confident in their knowledge of Japan, which I wasn't either before I came to Japan. As I said, I've been here for 30 years, and I just barely know anything, it seems. But anyway, one more time, the question is, what is the fastest Shinkansen or bullet train in Japan today? And the choices are Hayabusa, or peregrine falcon; Hikari means light; and Nozomi, which means wish. Okay. Any guesses? Okay, well, let me give you the answer. The answer is Hayabusa. Yeah, obviously not in the order of the actual speed of things, right? So obviously light would be faster than a falcon, but yeah, according in the world of the Shinkansen, the bullet train in Japan, Hayabusa is faster than Hikari or Nozomi. So a peregrine falcon is faster than light or a wish. So I'm waiting to see if anybody else is going to join here. Let me tell you a little bit about the Shinkansens. Okay, so the Shinkansen, as I said, currently the fastest train Japan operates is the Hayabusa, which runs northward from Tokyo along the Tohoku Shinkansen line. Tohoku Shinkansen line into the region of the same name, into the Tohoku area, so the northern part of Japan. Although the speed varies, it travels from Tokyo to Shin Hakodate Hokuto. So from Tokyo to there's a city called Hakodate. It travels that stretch of the Shinkansen line, of the train line, at a maximum speed of 320 kilometers per hour. 320 kilometers per hour, which is just under 200 miles per hour, about 198 miles per hour. So it's moving at a pretty good clip. Okay, yeah. So during in the highest speed sections of that, it's traveling around 200 miles an hour. That's its rated top speed. The second fastest, and what used to be the fastest until the Hayabusa replaced it as the fastest train in Japan. The next one is the Nozomi, the Wish. So wishes are faster than light also, I guess. Okay. So let's see, the Nozomi runs a different part. It runs from Tokyo south. The Hayabusa runs from Tokyo north. Nozomi runs from Tokyo south to Hakata Station in Fukuoka. Fukuoka is the prefecture just north of where I live. So this is getting into my neighborhood. So it runs on that section. The Nozomi has a maximum speed of about 300 kilometers per hour. So just a little bit slower. The Hayabusa was 320 kilometers per hour. The Nozomi, 300 kilometers per hour, which is about 186 miles per hour. Okay, so 200 miles an hour compared to 186 miles per hour. Okay, anyway, those are the two fastest trains in Japan at the current time. Okay, let's go on. Oh, let me share quickly here. Let me share with you a picture of, now I think this is actually the Nozomi. I couldn't find a picture of the Hayabusa, but this I believe is the Nozomi Shinkansen sitting at the station ready to load and unload passengers and so on. So this train, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Nozomi that travels at about 186 miles per hour, around 300 kilometers per hour at its maximum speed. And this is the train that travels between Fukuoka and Tokyo. Okay. All right. So let's get back to wherever we were here. Okay. There we go. Okay. There I am. Okay, let's see. The next question that we're going to put before you today. Oops. Question number 2. Which Japanese newspaper has the largest circulation in the world? Which Japanese newspaper has the largest circulation in the world? Okay, so a Japanese newspaper has the largest circulation of any printed newspaper in the world. Okay. Question is, what is the name of that Japanese newspaper? Okay. Let me give you choices here. Okay. The choices are Yomiuri Shimbun, Asahi Shimbun, Mainichi newspapers. Shimbun means newspaper. So all of these are Japanese newspapers. They're all Japanese language newspapers. But one of those three has the largest circulation of any newspaper in the world. Anybody have any idea which one is the largest? As I was checking, make sure that I had the current data, because this game is a few years old now. I found that of the top three newspapers, by largest newspapers by circulation size, of the top three, two of them are Japanese newspapers. So that's kind of interesting. And looking a little farther, out of the top 10, 4 are Japanese newspapers. Okay, so all over the world, and Japan, of course, you know, doesn't have the largest population in the world by any means, but Japanese love their newspapers, right? So 2 of the top 3 newspapers, largest newspapers by circulation, are Japanese newspapers. So again, the choices are Yomiuri Shimbun, Yomiuri Shimbun, right? Asahi Shimbun, Asahi, and Mainichi Shimbun. Let's see, Yomiuri. Wow, what is Yomiuri? I mean, Yomi is to read, and Uri is to sell, to read and sell. Maybe that's a different. There, you know, so many homonyms in Japanese. Their sound system is a little more restricted than English is. But anyway, the Yomiuri, Asahi, and the Asahi, the morning, rising sun, and Mainichi. Mainichi is the daily, everyday, Mainichi, everyday newspaper. I guess the names are something like that. Any ideas? Anybody here? Nobody's answering my questions, but that's all right. I'll give you the answer anyway. The Japanese newspaper with the largest circulation in the world is the Yomiuri Shimbun. The Yomiuri Shimbun. Okay. The Yomiuri Shimbun has a circulation of just over 9 million. 9 million newspapers. Daily newspapers, so 9 million newspapers going out every day by the Yomiuri Shimbun. The Yomiuri Shimbun obviously is a giant corporation, largest newspaper by circulation in the world. They even own a baseball team, the Yomiuri Giants, which is probably, it is the most popular baseball team in Japan. Anyway, the correct answer is the Yomiuri Shimbun. Number 2 by circulation again was an Indian newspaper, which I'm not familiar with, the Dainik Jagran. I'm probably butchering that name. I have no idea. But the third largest, as I said, 2 of the top 3 are Japanese newspapers. Number 3 is the Asahi Shimbun. It's number 3. It has a circulation of about 6.5 million. So 6,480,000 approximately. Whereas the Yomiuri Shimbun has just over 9 million, about 9,100,000 for circulation. Okay. That Indian newspaper in between is 6,800,000. So just above the Asahi Shimbun. The Yomiuri Shimbun is quite dominating. About 2.5 million more subscribers, papers in circulation than the number 2. So quite a gap there. Okay, so no one seems to be here, but that's all right. Let's change to another question here. Question number 3, if you don't mind. Question number 3. What combination of numbers generally signals a big win on a pachinko machine? Pachinko machine. Okay, pachinko is a popular game. It's actually a kind of, more entertainment. It's actually looked at as kind of gambling. You don't actually directly, it's interesting the way the Japanese do it. You don't actually get money. You get prizes, and then you take those prizes around the corner and sell them for money. That's the way they get around the no gambling rule. So you play the game and you win a prize, and then you take the prize and trade it in for money. Although one of the prizes you can select are cigarettes, and one of the main reasons I never go into pachinko parlors, well, 2 reasons. One is the sound is just deafening. The pachinko are these tiny little steel ball bearings, about about a quarter of an inch or a little more in diameter, ball bearings that shoot up, kind of a standing upright version of a pinball, except the pinballs are very, very small. As I said, about a quarter inch diameter bearings that are going up there, but you shoot those balls and then they fall down through these pins, and so this clatter 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 of all these balls dropping down through these metal pins that are nailed into the board, into the slots down below, and which slots they fall in determine how well you do, and so on. And they're all very animated. They've combined, the traditional, just the balls falling through into the slots with animation. They have display screens and so on with different kinds of animations if you happen to win, and so on. And numbers come up as you drop the balls through the slots, and numbers come up. And so that was the question. Go back to the question. What combination of numbers generally signals a big win on a pachinko machine? So these balls drop through the holes, and then some numbers on dials will start spinning, and there are 3 numbers there usually. There are variations. There are so many variations of this pachinko machine. In fact, you go downtown, you walk by a pachinko machine, and there'll be a sign, new machines installed, right? That's a big thing. So everybody wants to try the new machines, hoping that they'll be a little easier to win on or something. But so there are just endless variations on these pachinko machines. But one of the things, common themes, is that they have, as I said, numbers that come up, and there's 3 numbers. So what number combination do you think would indicate a big win? So 3 numbers. What number? What? Okay. All right. So I'll give you choices. First choice, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 as a number combination. Another combination, 7, 7, 7. And the third combination, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so which of those number combinations do you think generally indicates a big win in this pachinko game? 1, 2, 3, 7, 7, 7, or 4, 4, 4. Okay. Nobody has any guesses for me. Again, I'm talking to myself, but that's all right. Maybe somebody will watch this someday. All right. Well, the answer to this question is 777. 777. Lucky 7. It's lucky in Japan also. 123 doesn't do it for you. 444 would absolutely not, because 4 in Japanese is pronounced the same way that, or it sounds very similar to the way that the word for death is pronounced. So 4 is actually Japan's 13, the unlucky number. So you'll find apartment buildings that there is no, for example, apartment number 104 or 204. If there are more than four or more apartments on one floor, they'll skip that. So, for example, in my apartment building, there's on the 5th floor, 501, 502, 503, 505. There is no 504. People don't want to live in an apartment that has a 4 in it because it sounds like death. So it's a bad luck thing. Okay. So anyway, the answer, what combination of numbers generally signals a big win on a pachinko machine? It's the number 777. And there's a shot of inside a pachinko parlor, as it's referred to, a pachinko parlor. You can see lots and lots of people sitting along the row there, each one in front of a pachinko machine. And there's no interaction basically going on there. It's too loud to really carry on a conversation. So between the loudness and the large number of people that seem to smoke while they're playing pachinko, it's just a place that I never go into. I think I've stumbled into a pachinko parlor twice early on in my stay in Japan and have not ventured in again. It was just way too loud and way too smoky. In fact, just walking in front of a pachinko parlor when the automatic doors come open and the smell and the sound that comes out is enough to scare me away. So that's a pachinko parlor. Okay. Let's go back to there I am. Okay. Let's go back to our quiz, to the next question. Talking about superstition. What is this? Question number 4. I believe it is question number 4. Japanese superstition. Okay. According to superstition, what animal will you become if you lay down soon after eating? Okay, so there's a Japanese superstition that says that after you finish eating, after you eat, if you go and lie down, you could become an animal. Okay, so that's the question. According to superstition, what animal will you become if you lie down too soon after eating? Okay, let me give you choices. Choices are cow, horse, pig. Okay, so according to superstition in Japan, what animal will you become if you lie down soon after eating? Will you become a cow, a horse, or a pig? Of course, as a lot of superstitions, it's silly, but actually I think it's probably came from just the idea of from a health standpoint. It's not a good idea to lie down soon after you eat. And so by attaching this superstition, it reinforces that to make sure that people don't do that. Add a little more incentive, besides just knowing that it's not good for your health. Now it's also bad luck. You might turn into this animal, right? In the same way, there are other superstitions. We're going to have another question about superstitions for the last one here. But so, for example, in Japan, it's bad luck to kill a spider. You'll lose money if you kill a spider, which again is, of course, not going to happen. If you kill a spider, it's not that you're going to lose money, but it's not a good idea to kill spiders. Spiders are basically, most of them, the huge majority of spiders are absolutely harmless to humans. They don't really get in our way too much. Spider webs sometimes, but they do a good job of helping to control insects. So if you've got spiders in your home, catching those cockroaches and so on, well, that's a good thing, right? So don't kill that spider. And I've taken that to heart. I try never to kill a spider, try to shoo it outdoors and so on. That's a good thing to do. But going back to the question one more time, let me repeat the question. According to superstition, what animal will you become if you lay down soon after eating? Lay down, lie down. Yeah. Cow, horse, pig. Okay. Give up. Nobody's here, so I guess you gave up. The answer is cow. Right, that is the Japanese superstitious belief that if you eat and soon afterwards you go and lie down, you will become a cow. So don't do that unless you have a desire to become a bovine, right? Okay, let's go on to our last question today. The last question is again another question about Japanese superstition. According to superstition, what action makes one's stomach hurt? According to superstition in Japan, what action makes your stomach hurt? Okay. According to superstition, what action makes your stomach hurt? Okay. Let me give you choices for this one. Staring at a stranger, removing dirt or lint from your navel, or standing up too quickly. Okay, so again, in Japan, according to superstition, what action makes your stomach hurt? If you do this, you'll get a stomach ache. It'll make your stomach hurt. Okay. What action do you think the Japanese might believe causes your stomach to hurt? Staring at a stranger, picking your belly button lint, right? Removing dirt or lint from your navel, right? Or standing up too quickly. Okay, those are the three choices. Staring at a stranger, removing lint from your belly button, from your navel, or standing up too quickly. Yeah. I remember my grandmother telling my daughter not to do this action because you'll get a stomach ache. But it's just a superstition and kind of a funny one, I think. But anyway, which of those do you think? So what is going to make your stomach hurt? Staring at a stranger, removing dirt or lint from your navel, or standing up too quickly? Which of those three do you think is going to make your stomach hurt? Any answers? Any guesses? No? Okay, well, the answer is picking your belly button lint, right? Removing dirt or lint from your navel. That's what will make your stomach hurt, according to Japanese superstition. Okay. All right. So those are our answers to our questions. And that is all I prepared for today. It's been more than half an hour. So I think it's time to end this broadcast, right? So today we learned about Shinkansens in Japan, the fastest bullet trains in Japan, known as the Hayabusa or Peregrine Falcon. That's the fast train in Japan, the Peregrine Falcon Hayabusa. We learned about the world's largest newspaper by circulation, the Yomiuri Shimbun. Yomiuri Shimbun, largest circulation of any newspaper in the world. We learned about pachinko, that the number 777 is a indication that you've probably won a big prize in the pachinko, the Japanese pinball games. We learned that you don't want to lie down soon after eating because you might become a cow, is the superstitious belief here in Japan. Don't lie down after eating, soon after eating, because you might become a cow. And the last superstition that we just looked at is that if you take that lint out of your belly button, if you take that the dirt out of your navel, that can cause your stomach to hurt. Okay, so those are some little tidbits from Japan. If you found this interesting, I think most of you if you've watched this, it's probably been later. You found it either on Facebook or YouTube or HAPS after the fact, after the broadcast is finished. That's fine. Watch my channel. Watch for further future Japan game quizzes, as well as my USA Peace Game quiz, as well as my philosophy, layman's philosophy. And also I do walks in Kumamoto. So a couple of Japanese related one. I am living in Japan, so the Japan game quiz and walking in Kumamoto, both related to Japan. I am American, so the USA Peace Game quiz. And of course, I'm a layman philosopher. I love philosophical ideas and talking about them. So my layman's philosophy. If any of those topics interest you, check them out. Join in. I can invite anyone to join me if you're on HAPS. You can be on camera or just share your voice, or of course, you can always type in your comments or questions, or participate in the quiz through the chat, the text chat in the channel. So I hope you'll do that in the future. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.